We're glad to have you join us on the newsroom. I am Folashade Ogurinde. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arraigned suspended police officer DCP Abba Kyari and 6 others over drug trafficking related offences. The NDLEA had filed 8 counts bordering on conspiracy, obstruction and dealing in cocaine and other related offences against Kyari, who is also wanted in the United States for his relationship with convicted fraudster Ramon Abbas, also known as Hush Puppy. And the charge filed through a team of lawyers led by its Director of Prosecution and Legal Services, Joseph Sunday. NDLEA accused Kyari and other police officers of conspiracy, obstruction and dealing in cocaine worth 17.55 kilograms. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has advised the federal government to either fund universities or shut them down. The national president of ASU, Emmanuel Oshodeke, while speaking to newsmen during the weekend, insisted that the government must implement the agreement it signed with the union in 2009. Oshodeke said this in response to the Minister of Labour, Chris Ngige, who during a television interview last week insisted that the federal government does not have the funds to meet its obligations in the agreement signed with ASU. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has dragged President Muhammadu Buhari, the Attorney General of the Federation and 10 others before a federal high court in Abuja, challenging fresh moves to tamper with the newly amended Electoral Act signed into law some days ago. The PDP in the suit is praying the federal high court for an order of interim injunction restraining Buhari and other defendants from refusing to implement the duly signed Electoral Act. The PDP also applied for an order of the court stopping the National Assembly from giving effect to President Buhari's request to remove Section 84, subsection 12 from the Electoral Act. One of the most remote inhabited places in the world, Chatham Islands in New Zealand, has recorded its first ever case of COVID-19. Authorities confirmed 2 residents tested positive for the virus over the weekend, and we are now isolating and being supported. The authority added that measures are being taken to ensure that residents get vaccinated against the virus. The country director, World Bank, Shubham Chowdhury, says Nigeria's decision to postpone the food deregulation of the downstream sector of the petroleum industry by 18 months may cost the country over 4 trillion naira in subsidy payments on petrol in 2022. He noted that despite the rise in global oil prices due to the Russia-Ukraine war, this might not have a significant effect on the country's oil earnings. Chowdhury, however, noted that while the World Bank would come up with advice on subsidy removal, its role was certainly not to dictate, as it had no ability to do so. Following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the New Zealand government has said on Monday that it will introduce legislation to allow it to bring first-of-its-kind sanctions against Russia. New Zealand's Prime Minister said the sanctions will give the country the ability to freeze Russian assets, prevent people and companies from moving their money and assets to the country, and stop ships and aircraft from entering New Zealand waters or airspace. The Prime Minister added that the government was first to introduce the new legislation because of limits in the current multilateral system. At least 11 people have been injured when violence broke out among the crowd at a top-flight match in Mexico. The game between Querétaro and Atlas was abandoned in the second half with 1-0 when fighting broke out at La Corregidora Stadium. Local police said 2 people were seriously injured, with 9 in total taken to the hospital. That's it from the newsroom. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Bye for now.